Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Good Omens. Last time we had The Hitchhiker featuring the minisode Nazi Zombie Flesh Eaters. What was that one about?
Literally nothing. The Hitchhiker of the title of the episode was only in the episode for about 2 minutes. And it was Shax,
Yes.
who was telling Aziraphale that they knew that he and Crowley were up to something.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it was back in the 1940s. It was an episode that we saw back in season 1.
Yes.
And some people... Crowley was actually in the church. And I can't remember why he was able to do that.
Well, it wasn't comfortable. It's basically a demon can step on hallowed ground. It just really burns their feet. So he was in there for a couple seconds while Aziraphale, I think he was trying to buy some books from Nazis and then didn't realize they were Nazis, and then there was a bomb, and so Crowley helped him a little bit with that. So but then we had the continuation of that story where Aziraphale was going to be the magician on stage and was going to do a really big magic trick, which was the rifle trick, where someone shoots you, hopefully misses, and then you have a bullet in your mouth and you pretend like you caught it.
Yeah.
And they were going to just use a miracle to do it, but their miracles were being blocked because of the desk job demon who was trying to get proof that Aziraphale and Crowley were working together so he could get a promotion, basically. And yeah, it was a good story. It was interesting. Does it have anything to do with the plot at hand? No. But it was interesting.
Yes.
It was fun. It does, someone pointed out that, it's really here in 1941 that the two of them really, start trusting each other and consider each other friends. Yeah. So you do get more of that. But other than that, what we did learn is that Shax has now gotten express permission to take a legion to Aziraphale's bookstore and destroy it and take Gabriel, and we're speculating that this is going to give Heaven probable cause to go and attack the demons, which will unleash hell on earth, basically. So, that was it.
That was it.
That
Better than I can remember it.
Yes. So, yeah.
One other thing in the comments, somebody pointed out that one of the actors that I had mentioned, because we had seen him in Sherlock, and I can't remember if he was in the New Who, but his last name is Gattis. We thought it was Mark Gatiss, but apparently it's Mark Gatiss.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so...
It's like we didn't know Neil Gaiman was actually Neil Gaiman.
True. So,
next thing he'll be telling us it's Terry Pratchett.
Could be. So yeah. Now, the good news about today's episode is I can already see the title. It's just The Ball. Nothing else.
No minisodes.
No minisode. So, I'm thinking today is plot.
Ooh.
As much plot as this season can handle. So, and I know, we have heard the comments that, this is a more character-driven season than a story-driven season, and that's fine. But there is still a story.
Yes.
There is still a story of what's happening with Gabriel, and I mean, in that last episode, we just didn't see Gabriel at all.
Yes.
So, I do want to see a bit more of that, and not... As fun as that minisode was, you know what it is? It is the sort of thing... This doesn't count towards the counter. But this is the sort of thing in anime where between seasons you'll have an OVA, which is just a sort of... a lot of times it is a full episode of the show, but it's not really connected to last season. It's not really connected to the next season. You could technically skip it, but you're better off watching it. And I feel like that's what this season was, but they couldn't just sell the minisodes and be like, well, here's just some stuff, for the long-awaited second season of Good Omens. So they had to sort of, well, we'll sort of get this story snipped around it, and then it will at least lead into a third season anyway. So that doesn't count. That doesn't count towards the counter, because this whole season has been like that. So it's not unless I reference a specific anime that the counter ticks down another one. So, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
Then why don't we just go ahead and jump right into episode 5.
Demons.
I want only your worst. I want the worst of the worst. I want killers.
Uh-huh. Right, so, how many?
10,000 demons.
Sorry, I thought you said 10,000.
It's too much paperwork. How about 5?
I'll need musicians at the Wickford Street Traders and Shopkeepers Association monthly meeting this evening. I trust we'll see you there with your harpsichord.
No, thank you.
There will be sandwiches.
I went to one meeting 10 years ago. They were wittering on about the Christmas lights and passed a resolution condemning the improper use of apostrophes on signs in windows. There was literally nothing that would get me there tonight.
I see. I have at the back of my bookshop a 1965 Doctor Who annual.
I thought he was playing the Doctor
There
Who theme.
was no 1965 Doctor Who annual.
The 1965 annual was indeed never printed due to problems at the BBC. Mine is the only known proof copy.
You'll let me look at it?
If you're at the meeting this evening with perhaps a quartet of musicians, I'll let you have it.
You just did what I think you did. I'm not prepared to draw credit. You gave away a book. I had to.
Desperate times.
500. There must be 500 foot soldiers.
What for?
Attacking a bookshop. Don't tell anybody, but we may be battling angels.
And do you 100? It's just dropped to 70.
I'll take them.
Alright. A legion of 70.
I have a first edition of S.W. Erdnäs's Expert at the Card Table.
You've got a first edition.
It was Erdnäs's own copy. He signed it with his real name and annotated it.
How much?
It's not for sale. However,
I'll tell the spouse something came up.
bring them along too. I can promise you, it'll be quite a night.
Sorry, fezzes are cool.
Listen to me now, oh legions of hell. Our mission.
Excuse me?
What is it?
Eric.
A legion's like
The demon Eric.
6,000 demons. Technically, we're only about 1/75th of a legion.
I know, but what we lack in numbers we make up for in veracity. And
Scariness?
no. Lost it now. Ferocity and danger. Osity. For we are.
Pardonnez-moi.
Mr. Fell, I speak fluent English. I've been living here for 15 years.
Il y aura des polopons.
Mr. Fell, if it's about the street traders meeting, I can be there, but only until 7, as we start to get really busy.
Oh, merci bien. Il est à 6h30.
Yes, 6:30. See you there.
Au revoir.
He was very committed.
So what's with the French?
Oh, I learned that the hard way. I went to Monsieur Rossignols night classes in 1760. Où est la plume de la jardinière de ma tante?
You don't have an aunt. She doesn't have a gardener. He doesn't have a pen.
But you understood me.
Are they going to talk about the Christmas lights? Because I have things to say.
Yes.
I'll be there.
At least that was easy.
Masks would be provided for those who can't blend in. We use the big transporter.
The big transporter's out of service. You'll have to use the little transporter one at a time. Or take the stairs.
Well. And then he exploded.
We'll take the stairs.
Alright. I'll just cross out 70 and put 69 instead.
You've got an amnesiac archangel hiding out in your bookshop. I spent last night worrying if he's going to wake up. What if he remembers who he is? What if he's faking it? He could smite me. When Gabriel smites you, you've been...
Smited.
Smited? Smoked?
So,
When you told my only friend to shut his stupid mouth and die. And I did not care for it.
Is there anything I can do?
Oh, no. No. Jump out that window.
I thought he was gonna miracle a trampoline or something.
Get down.
In a matchbox. No, I took it out first.
You took your memory out of a matchbox.
Yes, that's right. I took it out and I put it in the box and I brought it here. And it's everywhere.
What else do you remember?
He brought a box with him.
Yeah. And he left the matchbook in heaven.
He's definitely not in the shop. Does that count as a lead? It's just a zero fail.
The traitor.
Yes. He seemed very... traitorous. And his grumpy friend, Mr. Crowley.
The demon.
Oh, I suppose that explains the grumpiness. Oh, and I don't know if it helps, but at one point, Mr. Fell and the traitor and the demon had a secret meeting about what to do next.
Ah.
And? What?
What did they say?
Oh, I didn't listen. They said it was private.
Oh. I just don't know how anything has functioned in this world for 6,000 years.
I'm going mad.
Why, my dear, it is Nina, purveyor of coffee for all our needs.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Ah, bonsoir. It is how do you say it? A fine night for dancing, no?
Justine, what's going on?
Why, la, good Mistress Coffee Seller. Tonight is a meeting of the Wickworth Street Traders and Shopkeepers Association. We all are partaking of the hospitality of Mr. Fell.
Oh no, he's made everyone unreasonably nice.
Who sent you?
Ugh.
You're demons. Junior, bottom of the barrel demons.
Oh.
Put them down.
Well, when a gentleman finds himself in want of the tender attentions of a wife, he may betake himself to my establishment, and there have his pick of a fine stable of ladies, all able and willing to mend his shirt, or darn his socks, or even sew on a button. But that's extra, and not all the girls do it.
Oh. Seamstress.
What has he done to all of them?
Because all of them know how to do dances from the early 1800s.
I just assume that's a part of whatever drug he's gassed them with.
It's meant to be the Shopkeeper Association monthly meeting.
Oh, yes. Well, now you put it like that.
We'll talk about the Christmas lights
Are we
then.
dancing?
Yes.
Did you ever learn the steps to this dance?
It's just what we do, isn't it?
No, it isn't. This is something mad.
It's just in their British blood to dance like this.
This is like the Dracula thing. They can't go in unless they're invited, is that right?
Yeah.
So well made in form and feature.
This.
Quite memorable.
Isn't it? I'm still working out all the things it can do. I discovered a new one in bed last night. Would you like me to show you?
I must confess you interest us strangely.
Here, watch. Hmm?
I think you're overestimating how much trouble we're actually in.
Oh. Oh dear.
Surrender the angle.
Yeah, spelling not their strong point, they meant to say.
Surrender the angel. You have 60 seconds to hand over the Archangel Gabriel before we begin to kill people.
Excuse me.
Ah, come on. Go out there and fight him. It'll be the greatest action scene ever.
The angel Gabriel is apparently me. But I'm also Jim, which is short for James, but also Gabriel.
Get back in there right now, this minute, and you tell that ass, Aziraphale, and that arch traitor Curly, that unless they said out the angel Gabriel now, they're toast. T-O-S-T.
Spelling is not their strong
E.
Yeah.
Toast.
There, we do a miracle to make sure nobody knows it's him. Now nobody knows it's him. Nice one, us.
Excuse me, Mr. Phil. Who are these people? What's happening?
20 seconds, Angel, before we start hatching.
This is an anime minute right here.
You aren't allowed to harm humans directly. You know that, Shax.
Maybe not.
Standard Rules of Engagement, Clause 112, Subsection 3. Civilian non-combatants must be given sufficient time to evacuate the area of hostilities. I mean, Aziraphale can put in a formal complaint to the Dark Council of the Dukedoms of Hell if you want, but you'll have to delay your attack until they reply. I could think weeks, maybe. You lot could all be in big trouble.
There's so many rules in hell.
Right, I just made up a rule they're too stupid to check. If you tell him never coming back, I won't leave you on your own.
Really? What's the boundary line of this place?
The door frame, you can't cross it. Don't make eye contact with them, just follow me out. Nina, are you coming? No. Staying behind to die bravely. Good on you. Right, save lives. Happy anniversary. I'm brought your mail.
Why?
It stacks up by the front door.
Keep it for now, not a good time.
Who's sending mail to him?
Forget as much of this as you can. You're a good lad. Not actually. Either. But thank you. Then arrest me.
What?
Like I said, put on the cuffs. I'll go quietly.
This is very difficult, but I'm not actually Inspector Constable, a human law enforcement officer.
You're an angel. I know. That's why I'm surrendering to you. I'm a demon.
But how would I...
You say, I arrest you. Anything you say, blah, 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 blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah.
Good job. You've arrested me.
I have?
You said, blah, 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 blah. It's all right, officer. I'll come quietly.
Come where?
Heaven.
He's gonna get a terrible sunburn, isn't he?
You aren't trying to trick me, are you?
You're arresting me. Why would I be trying to trick you? Close the doors.
Doors closing. Going up.
Alrighty. That is episode 5. Things have happened.
Seemed kind of short. And again, we didn't say anything, hardly.
That was about 40 minutes. little on the shorter side, but maybe, saving a good chunk of it for the last episode, Alrighty.
Well, the subplot was most of it, getting all the people together just so that they could get Maggie and Nina together. But they both recognized this wasn't normal.
Yeah.
They both said, I don't remember ever learning how to dance. So they knew something was going on, but they just didn't know what.
Right.
And then, of course, you've got the demons. And again, Miranda Richardson, what a wonderful actress she is.
Yeah. So yeah, good, interesting stuff, fun stuff, plot stuff. It's all nice. It's all good. Crowley has some kind of a plan, I guess. Because we talked about the probable cause. Maybe he still has to go give Heaven the probable cause. So I don't know. Is that going to be difficult for him in heaven? It was already difficult for him to walk into a church. How can he walk into heaven like that? Unless he's fine because he's been arrested.
Now, where was he when he was disguised as Aziraphale when Gabriel was trying to destroy him? Was that in heaven?
Yes, that's true. So,
but we did get two reminders of clues. Gabriel said, I put it in a matchbox. We know that the matchbox is still in heaven.
Yes.
He said, but then I took it out and put it in a box. He arrived holding a box and nothing else. But the box seemed to be empty. So.
Yeah. And I think he also said, now it's just kind of everywhere. So I'm assuming his memories are sort of embedded into the bookstore. And they have to figure something out. I don't know. Maybe that transmutation circle that Aziraphale, like move the rug over and it was just there. Maybe that will help in some form. And for those of you at home, that is another tick on the Alex references anime counter, because that is a reference to Full Metal Alchemist. So, anywho, and I know I've been ironically I've been tap dancing around anime references all episode, but
this is anime him.
Yes, but it's great. Anywho. So yeah, we have the legion of... I guess technically it's a legion of 70 demons if you include Shax.
Yes.
So, otherwise it's a legion of 69 demons, and that's it's not as intimidating, I guess. So, anyway.
And I'm surprised, the demons made a joke about that. Rolling like, 1/75th of a legion, and Crowley and Aziraphale didn't say anything about when they looked around.
Yeah, well, I guess...
Because that would have been something you would skewer Shax with, going, you said you're bringing a legion and you got, 70 people here.
Well, I think it's literally just because she never said, it's like, oh, I brought a legion, it's just, we're here to get the angel. So Crowley just hasn't realized, because, it's not enough demons. So, I really did want, because he said, oh, you're very low rank demons. You're just like one step above the damned. I really wanted him to bust out a sword and just start fighting all of them, because it's like, they're all the the lowest bottom of the barrel demons. He's at least 6,000 years old, and he's been through a lot. Now, Shax probably could be a challenge to him, and again, I'm kind of going off of my anime Marvel fight brain of how can I get in a fight here? But then I remind myself, this probably isn't the show to do that, although that'd be really cool. I don't know. But yeah. But instead, again, he's going to heaven, but for what express purpose? Unless it's just that it's the only way to tell them that there are demons on Earth now. And then we had everyone. I guess is it technically a temptation if it's an angel tempting you to go to the street association meeting? Because there's the whole thing of the demons tempting you to do stuff. But is it temptation if it's an angel? I don't know, but he definitely had to tempt them with books,
including the Doctor Who 1965 annual.
Yes, because at first when they entered that store, I was like, that kind of sounds like the Doctor Who theme, but I'm not really sure. But then sure enough, that is what it is. And you could faintly hear the TARDIS going off while they were talking. So
I did not hear that.
Yeah, it was very, very faint. But yeah, so, it does bring up the question, because obviously, he used a bunch of miracles on the ball itself and, kind of affecting everyone's mind to be more wholesome than they really were. It does beg the question, did he make up having those books and miracled them? Or do you think Aziraphale did actually have those books?
I think he actually has them. Again, the fact that he said, I've got that book from the 1760s, and it was the author's own copy, and it was signed by him and annotated. So, he's been around long enough to have the originals.
Yeah, so, and, that's definitely, because, I feel like this season more than last season has really emphasized how much he loves books. And just and the running joke is obviously he never gives any of them up because he just doesn't want to. He's a bookstore that doesn't sell any books, but that's just. But I guess that would make sense though that he would have over the years collected these incredibly rare books, and now he has a use for them basically. So, and then we had the Wickbar Street Association meeting / ball, which was interesting. And it's also weird that only the two of them noticed that things were off. No one else really noticed that they got new fancy dress or anything like that. Unless it's something he didn't really affect them too much because they are the focus of the ball. I don't know. But that was funny. I just liked how, everyone is very wholesome because they're specifically being affected by an angel. If Crowley was putting this on, everyone would be drunk. More drunk than the British normally are. And it'd just be crazy. There'd be a death metal band in the corner or something. So but that was good. I did think, for a moment that the rule that Crowley was making up was real, because I thought if anyone would know the rules, it would probably be him, because he has to deal with them so much, because honestly, more than anyone else, he has had to deal with Earth and everything. We saw a couple episodes back where, Aziraphale's oh, you can't do all of this. It's well, I have a permit. I have a permit to destroy everything that Job has, So it would make sense that he knows those rules inside and out, and he can sort of beat them on that. And it is, again, the thing of, why does heaven have so much... Or hell, why does hell have so much bureaucracy and paperwork and everything?
If you've ever worked in a place that has that kind of bureaucracy, you'll know that that's a living hell.
Yes, it's just such a counterintuitive thing, because it's you specifically left heaven to get away from all of that, and you've just made it again, just with a different guy at the top. So,
and less efficient, which makes it that much more of a hell.
Less efficient, because they're just the dumbest sacks of bricks. It is ridiculous. I love they throw in, they throw the message through the window and it says, give us the angle. Yeah. They would legitimately make the I can be your angle or your devil meme, thinking that they spelled it properly, or Shaq's not being able to spell toast, So how they get through any paperwork, I don't know.
There's one other thing, and I'm going to rely on my very narrow knowledge of diplomacy. Despite the fact that Aziraphale is technically an outlaw, his statement that his bookshop is still an embassy still theoretically means, if I recall correctly, that they cannot enter it, because a United States embassy, for example, in Paris, is not considered to be on French soil, but American soil in the middle of Paris.
Yeah.
And you are not allowed to enter it unless you have been invited. So despite the fact that he is no longer the ambassador, technically, the shop itself should still be the embassy, and therefore they're still not allowed to come inside it.
Yeah, so...
And that may be why she decided to yank the one guy out.
Yeah.
Which, I don't... Was he standing beyond the threshold?
I think he was, like, just beyond it.
Because if he... Again, theoretically, if he was still inside the threshold, she wouldn't have been able to take him.
Yeah. Maybe it was something like... He was, like, kind of half and half, so it's like you could just sort of grab him and yank him out, so... Or... It's something of if your feet haven't crossed, technically, like if you didn't touch the actual inside past it, like you can kind of get your arms past it, but yeah, I don't know. You know, it's also just an interesting thing. I've kind of thought this before in this season, but Crowley doesn't really live anywhere anymore. Like, he had a place last season in London, but in this season, he just hasn't gone to it. And now with this whole thing of, you know, this sort of embassy of heaven, it does kind of make you wonder. It's like, well, did Crowley have his own embassy? Or did he just have an apartment that he lived in? Or a flat, you know? So, I'm not really sure. But he did have that a bit. I guess he did sort of flee it at the end of last season. But there were all the plants that he had that he kept torturing. Because that's just what he does. So yeah. And then we also had, you know, it's like, oh, well, Crowley will be back. He'll have a plan. He'll save me, you know, and he'll be really happy when he does it. And then he's obviously off to heaven instead. But because they mentioned specifically, you know, be your own person, come up with your own plan. I'll be curious what kind of plan Aziraphale can actually come up with on his own. I mean, you have to assume that Aziraphale has fought demons before, you know? But yeah, I don't know. It's a specific point that, you know, Aziraphale is an angel, but he's also the most angel of all the angels that are there in heaven, you know? Like, he's so much more of the goody two-shoes than anyone. And I guess the Inspector Constable is a pretty good, naive person. But then you obviously get to the higher ranks of Michael and Gabriel, and it's like, yeah, they're not exactly what you have expected for an angel. Aziraphale is, but I would be curious to see Aziraphale actually fighting. You know, yeah. He did at the end of last season. He had the flaming sword. I assume he still has that. So, and that was like the first thing I think that he like vaguely lied to God about, if I remember. It's been a long time since we watched season 1, so I'm amazed that we can remember as much as we do for something we watched 4 years ago. So, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
Do you think the demon Eric was actually was it discorporeated or whatever?
Yes.
Yes.
She said, if you interrupt me again,
yeah,
I'll disincorporate you, or whatever it was.
I think she said, like, you'll regret it.
Yes.
But there's the question is, did he live to regret it? I don't know. But yeah, but that was, again, just incredibly funny of, like, how does this place function? And it doesn't. And it's the same thing of, because someone pointed out when Shax said earlier in the season, you know, I come up with such horrible plans for the humans, but then the humans come up with horrible plans for each other, you know? And it's like, yeah, I guess they don't really need to do any work. Of all of them, the most competent of all the demons is Crowley. And that's pretty bad. That's honestly pretty bad. So, alright. Next time, we'll have the season finale.
And what is it called?
It's called Every Day.
It's getting closer.
Exactly. So, we'll watch that next time, and then wait 3 or 4 more years for the next season to pop up. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the next season, so But yeah, that is basically it. With all that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our Good Omens reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.